Okay, this is page 10. Remember, whatever I write, you write. Even if you think it's silly. Give me your full attention. We're starting Unit 2. There will be a quiz by the end of the week. This stuff will be on there. This is laying the groundwork for the rest of geometry. This lesson, tomorrow's lesson, and I think the lesson after that. Those are like the foundational, do you know how to do this? Because this gets used every day in geometry. Okay, first, do you know the muff? Ha! Who said that? Was that you? I was about to say it too. Do you know the foundational vocab words in geometry? Point, line, plane, line segment, ray. We are going to look at the definitions, look at how you name them, what's the notation or the symbol, what does it look like on paper, and then we have a couple more vocab words, and then we're going to practice recognizing it, reading it, writing it. Okay? First, looking at your paper, because it's going to be difficult for me to scroll constantly, because I'm trying not to touch the board as much as possible. It messed up this morning. Look at your paper. Look at the column of pictures. Tell me, I'm going to name a real-world object or thing or concept. I want you to tell me what math shape I've just described. All right, ready? We'll start easy. The sun's rays. Wait, no,
Array.
Your vocab words are right here.
Array.
A what?
Array.
Array. The
What?
sun's rays are an example of a ray. Notice I said we're going to start easy. Look at the picture of what a ray looks like in math. Just, where are you at? Look down.
I looked up.
Stand by. What's the difference in a line and a line segment? Has no end, right? Segment implies, think of a segment worm, inchworm, right? You ever heard of an inchworm? Those little green ones that are about an inch long. They have a start and a stop, right? Whereas a line keeps going. Okay, so line segment would be basketball court, or you could say football field. And we're talking about the lines on it specifically, the segments on it, the ink marks. Like it starts here, stops here. Free throw line. Starts, stops, right? Paint. Thank you. That was a great way. I said ink. I said ink. Okay, what about this? The horizon.
Line.
Oh, what is it? I like this. I never expected you to say plane. The horizon is what? Describe it to me.
If you look at it, it's a straight line. It's not like a big open area.
So if you ever go to the beach or an open field, Chickamauga Battlefield, and you look out, you see an imaginary line between the ocean and the sky that just keeps going, right? I would not say it's a plane, but I think you could argue that. We're going to say plane for something else. So a line, we're going to say the horizon. What direction does the horizon run?
East-west.
Very good. Give me another answer, not using cardinal directions.
What?
Left and right.
Oh, that.
What direction do horizontal lines run?
Horizontal.
I heard it.
Lateral? No.
Lateral, left and right. Listen, horizontal, horizon. They run the same direction, right? That's why they named the horizon, because it runs horizontally. Right? You with me? Here's another one. A city on a map.
Point.
A city on a map.
Blank.
It's a point on the map. City on a map would represent a point. If you're looking at the map, there's a point there to represent the city, right? All right. Now, if you're not a football fan, you may not know the answer to this one. That's all right. It's the last one left. The plane between the end zone and playing field
Infield?
is a
What?
what?
Plane.
Plane.
Oh.
There's no other word for it. The space between the end zone on the football field and the playing field is that thin space that represents when you get the touchdown, right?
Isn't that a line?
No, not necessarily.
You mean the spot where the football, the goal fit?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the paint on the field. I'm talking about like if they stretch the ball, like if I'm in the field
To the
and
end
I
zone.
stretch the ball,
And,
but I'm not on the ground. I'm just stretching the ball. I've got a touchdown because it broke the plane. There you go. You hear math all the time. You don't even realize it. All right, so we're gonna say if you don't want to write it in words, you could just draw a little football field, label that it's a football field, and it's this space right here between we'll say football plane, because it's the space between the field to the end zone. Has nothing to do with an actual plane that flies in the air. Nothing at all. Okay, so now that we've identified these math terms in the real world, now we're going to put the actual definitions next to those fill in the blanks and then talk about how you name them. Okay, what's a point? It's a location that has no size.
That was when our pencil should be moving.
Whenever I write, you write.
Fill it in. Make it easy for you. Fill in the blanks.
How do you talk about a point without using the word point, or if you want to talk about a specific one?
a play.
You use a capital letter. You use a capital letter. So for instance, this example right here is point A, or you actually could just call it A. All caps. A in capital letter. All right, line. Line is a set of infinite points on a straight path that extends forever in two opposite directions. All right, write all that down. A set of infinite points that extends forever in two opposite directions. How do you name it? Two ways. Any two points that are on the line. You need two. It only takes two to make a line. Or, and this one's rare, but it does come up sometimes, so we're going to write it. A lowercase cursive letter. The one you're going to see the most is any 2 points. The only time you see the lowercase cursive letter is when the picture we're looking at is really complicated, like there's a lot going on. Then you can use lowercase cursive letters to make it easier. All right, so if you look right here, we have an example. This is point, what? Look what I'm pointing to. This is point B. This is point,
C.
and then this looks like an E. It's actually a cursive L.
What kind of L?
Sound like you said something. That's exactly what it sounded like you said. Okay, you can name this line as BC. Now watch what I draw above it. If I want to talk about line BC, then I draw, wait for it, go, a line above it.
Man, amazing. See, that might be the easiest one. How can I tell that's an L?
You would be able to tell. And if you called it an I would not mark it.
Hopefully not.
Now, the beautiful thing about this is that's not the only way to name that line. I could also name it CB. Everything's about you. I could name it CB, so order does not matter when you're naming a line because it's continuing on, right?
Look, everything is good, man. You learn.
Or, now watch, here's where the L comes in. You can call it line L. I do make it cursive because if I don't make it cursive, it looks like I've just drawn the number 1.
That's the way you're going to see it. Possibly
Yeah,
in any other way.
That L looks way different than that E.
I know. Can I say no more? Let me fix it. There you go. Still kind of looks
What's
like
that? What's in the nail?
Yeah.
What's that one of those things that are like hot?
It'll be alright, it'll be fun.
Alright, now, put your pencil down. I need you to lock in. I'm about to go like conceptual on you. You ready? Stay with me. Christian, join me. Okay. What happens if I draw every single point on a line segment, on a line? If I draw every one of them, with me? We'll speed up this process. What do you notice is happening in my picture?
Turning into a line.
Oh, you see how all of a sudden it looks like just one smooth
Yeah.
line?
Yeah.
Try again. I got it. Wait a minute. There we go.
That's the most good.
Alright. It'll go. Do you see as I tried to draw every single point that it gets to be so many points that they blur together and it looks like I just took my pencil and made a smooth stroke of the pencil? Do you see that? So I need you to now think of the points underneath. There's so many of them that it actually, when you zoom out, you just see this smooth line. But if I was to say to you, Haddon, how many points are on this line? What's the correct answer? There you go. Too many to count. Can you actually count them at all? Nope. And that's because between any two, there's another one. And between any two, there's another one. This is where math blows your mind. Y'all ready for this? Watch. I love this. Stay with me, Colby. What is halfway between 0 to 1?
0.5.
1/2. Let's work with fractions. It's easier. What's halfway? Stay with me. From 0 to a half. 1/4.
It just goes for effort.
What is half? You already see it. What is halfway from
1/8.
0 to 1/4?
1/8.
1/8. What you see what the numbers are doing?
Yeah.
Denominator is doubling because it's getting smaller. It's in the denominator's position. What's halfway from 0 to 1/8?
1/16.
1/16. What's 1 halfway from 0 to 1/16?
1/32.
What's halfway to 1/32?
1/64.
1/64. Can we keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah. We never run out of numbers, right? No matter what I say, you're just going to double the denominator and answer my question, correct?
You can get to a million.
You can go past that. So that's the beauty of the math. While physically, like I can only put so many dots here. Mathematically, there's actually infinitely many dots, and it's because if you looked at the math behind it, the numbers would just keep going. You with me? So When we name a line, we name it by 2 points. Are those the only points on the line? No, definitely not. So that's the big takeaway here. Y'all with me? Y'all don't need to sit next to each other. All right, come right here. Plane. You're only going to hear about a plane probably this week and one other time. So if plane is hard for you to understand, that's okay. What is a plane? It's a set of infinite points on and a line on a flat surface that extends forever and has no thickness. The hard part about a plane is when we draw a plane on paper, we have to put edges on it, right? I mean, we have to put them there. But a plane in real space has no edges. That's the hard part. That's what makes planes difficult. All right, how do you name it? You use 3 non-collinear. Come on, don't you start acting up. Points. 3 non-collinear points. What word in math do you hear in collinear? Line. Very good. Collinear, which is a vocab word coming up here in about 8 minutes.
Oh dear heaven.
Collinear means coexisting points on the same line. Makes sense. Mathematicians name things in a way to help you know what the word means. Collinear, coexisting points on the same line. This is saying take any 3 that don't form a straight line, and that's how you would name the plane. So this would be plane DEF. Write that down. You could also call it plane R. There is a cursive R right there, but we're not even going to worry about that because that never comes up. Capital cursive R doesn't change.
Why can't they make more like that?
Well, you're going to find that when they name things floating letters, they're cursive. When they name things as static letters, like it's actually touching, you know what I mean? They're print. Don't ask me why. All right, segment. A part, or actually let's write portion, I like that better. A portion of a line that consists of 2 endpoints and all the points between them. Portion of a line that consists of 2 endpoints and all the points between them. How do you think we named that? Based off of how we named this line BC. How do you think I want to name this?
CH.
Exactly. You're going to use the 2 endpoints. That's how you name it.
Named it HG. Is that all right?
It is alright. The good news is when you're naming segments, just like when you're naming lines, the order does not matter. So you can call it HG or GH. What do you think I need to draw above it to show that I'm talking about a segment?
Is that another line?
A little segment. You can either put dots, you can do it that way, or you'll see me just draw kind of looks like a hat, just a bar. That's what you're going to see me draw. So it can be either of those. Which brings us to the last geometric term that kind of lays the groundwork for the whole semester. Ray. Ray is a portion of a line that consists of 1 endpoint, and all the points of the line on one side Now, here's where we have to be careful. Take your highlighter and draw a highlighted line right here. Just draw a straight highlighted line. Draw a straight highlighted line. Let me get my green and I'll show you. Right here. And then I want you to write over it. Order matters. We only have one thing on here that is nitpicky in the order that you name it, and that would be array. You have to start with endpoint and any other point. So it starts with the endpoint and then it's any other point on the array. But it has to start with the endpoint, has to. So there's only one way to name this. The endpoint is right here. Make a note. This is where I would start to name it. This would be IJ, which really bothers me because of those letters. And then above it, when you go to draw your symbol, you will draw a ray. All right. You have a 2-minute stretch break. You can stand up, check your phone. In 2 minutes, we're going to come back together. Okay, take your highlighter and please highlight collinear, coplanar. We will not spend a lot of time here, and there's really not much to fill in, but go ahead and highlight them because, yes, they are vocab words. Collinear, we already talked about on the other side. It is rare that we have so many vocab words in one day. Today being the first lesson, we have some. That lie. Okay, collinear. Points that lie on the same line. Hence the name collinear. Picture to the right needs nothing adjusted. If you notice, points J, K, and L are all on that same line. Coplanar is not really something that comes up a lot, but it's the same thing it sounds like. So collinear was points lying on the same line. Coplanar is points that lie on the same plane.
Okay, okay.
So be nice. Be kind and quiet. If you look at the picture to the right, you can see the plane that's drawn. It does have edges, but remember, a plane truly has no edges. And you can see points M, O, and P are drawn on it, right? Okay, take your highlighter, and let's talk right here. If I have two lines intersecting, that means they're crossing. Where would they cross? In the middle. So you take your highlighter, that was too much, and put a highlighted dot right there in the middle. Intersection of two lines is a point, meaning the point is on both lines. Did you lose something? Oh. If you need a pencil, I have some of it. What if I have two planes intersecting? All right, y'all. I went to a lot of money and effort. Spent a lot of money. Went to a lot of effort to do this demonstration. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Here's two planes intersecting. Please imagine the edges as continuing. Please imagine the edges as continuing on, right? They're not finite. It doesn't stop right here. But do you understand that this is two planes that have merged because they are going in different directions? You with me? Okay, that's this picture right here. Describe to me what forms when two planes intersect. What do they have in common? When two lines intersect, they have a point in common. When two planes intersect, they have a line in common. Please take your highlighter and highlight this. Nope. Highlight this line right here. I only highlighted in between because that's the part that's actually on both planes, but the line does carry on outside because remember the plane carries on, right? The plane is not finite. Okay, now we're to the practice together as a group, and then we'll be to the practice for like your practice assignment by yourself. Okay, numbers 1 through 4. It says identify the type of figure and then name it. Look at the front of your paper. Look at the front of your paper. Look back over. Look at number 1. Take a second. It is laid out, not tricky. Not trying to trick you. What'd you get? It is a ray. Now the next thing it says to do is to name it. Go back to the front of your paper and look at how we said you only have one way to name a ray. What'd you say?
Sunny.
Sunny.
Yeah.
You have to start with what? The end point. So it's going to be AC. And then above it, I would draw a ray to show that I am talking about a ray. When we get to the complicated stuff, if you don't know how to name edges, angles, rays, segments, it makes it way more challenging. So we're trying to make sure, like, let's get this down, and then we'll worry about the more complicated stuff. All right, number 2, go to the front of your paper, look at the pictures.
Questions?
Oh, nothing. I know. It is a line. Is there only one way to name it? Yes. Is there only one way to name it, or are there multiple ways? There's multiple ways. Go to the front of your paper and look at what we wrote. To name a line, you only need what? You need 2. How many are on this one?
3.
3. So there's a lot of choices here. We don't have room to write all of them. Somebody just throw out a name. Yes. I heard FG as well. Did someone just say FG? DG. And then, because we don't have room, I'm just going to put comma, ... to say, like, there's more choices here, right? Number 3. Number 3 is a plane. And looking at the front of your paper, we talked about how do you name a plane? How many points? 3. They just need to be non-collinear. Well, there's not a single line drawn on this picture, right? So you can pick any 3. What 3 you want? E, J, and what? I? There you go. And I'm going to put comma, ... because there's more choices. All right, go to number 4. Only one left. Segment. Technically, it is called a line segment, but that drives me nuts because you just said the word line and then you followed it up with the word segment, which means totally different than a line. So you're going to see me call it just segment. So there's no confusion. There's only one way to name that. What is it? Or excuse me, there's 2 ways to name it. What is it? The 2 endpoints. So Colt, tell me one. There you go. And then Colby, tell me the other.
Okay.
There you go. Just those 2. Okay, now we have a more complicated picture. And then it says for 5 through 7, name 2 from each of each type from this picture. So if this is the picture you focus on, I want you to tell me 2 segments, 2 rays, 2 lines. I'm going to help you out here because I don't want you to complicate something that doesn't need to be complicated. You'll be fine. Are you giving me an answer? All right. Name a segment. AD. What do I need to put above it to show I'm talking about a segment? The bar. So if I want to talk about segment AD, I need to make sure it has just that bar above it. Okay? Patty, name another segment. I'm just bouncing around. Name another segment. Don't complicate it. Okay. And what do I need? So B to D. What do I need to put above BD to say I'm talking about a segment? The bar.
What about BC?
BC also works. There are a lot of choices here. We don't have enough room to write all of them.
BD.
Yep. All right, move on though, because you'll be there all day. Now go to rays. There is only one true ray in the picture that could be named 2 different ways. AE or AD, right? It's okay. Good.
It's not AC because if it was AC, there's like extending lines on both sides.
Technically, it does extend past the A. If you wanted to talk about ray AC, you would just need to make sure, I'm going to put in parentheses, you would need to make sure to put above it the ray symbol, and that would mean start at A, run through C. But there is actually a ray in this picture that needs no adjustment. Y'all named it. It's start at A and then run in this direction. We can call it what? A, D, or
AE.
AE. Okay, lines. How many lines are in this picture?
3.
There's 3 distinct lines, and then because of all the points on them, I could name a slew of lines, right? Just give me 2. Say it again. A, B, okay.
BF.
E, F, D, F. I'm so glad though I thought you said E, F. Does E, F work?
I said BF.
I know. Does E, F work?
No.
No, because there's nothing that connects E to F, correct?
Yeah.
What do you say? B, F?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then above it, just put the line symbol. All right. Down to the stretch. Final stretch. Intersection of, so here's our picture. This goes back to that really fancy demonstration right here. You with me? This is that fancy demonstration that I'm struggling with. There you go.
That you made.
I know.
Too fast.
It took me 3 hours. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Okay. You've got the one that's upright, plane E, maybe? That's this one. And then you've got the one that's flat, plane S. That's this one. Okay? Let me turn it this way so that I can hold it so it's sturdier. All right. Yeah, I'm going to let you. Here you go. Vanna over here. Okay. Tell me, where do the 2 planes intersect?
KJ8. Or KH.
So they're intersecting in this space all the way across, correct? And technically the planes would keep going. So we're going to say that they're intersecting at this line right here. You want to use your highlighter to help emphasize that line. We just need to name it. KJ. Or KH. Or you could reverse those letters. All right. Intersection of line T and N. This is a T right here. This is an N. Look at the picture. You got line T, line N. Where do they intersect? Heard one answer. Point J. Line T runs this way, line N runs this way. They have J in common. Can you name 3 collinear points? G, J, L. That works. L. Or what'd you say? K, J, H. Name 3 coplanar points. Could be. K, J, H, which is in this line. Didn't we say that that was on this plane and this plane?
Yeah.
So yes, you could answer that with those same letters. Name a ray on plane HIK. HIK is this, so it says name a ray.
JG.
Okay, and what do I need to put? What about G? You hold that demonstration up for me again. So the plane we're looking at is plane HIK.
Did you say G?
Yeah. JG.
I think G is shooting off the plane. G's up here. And plane HIK is this one. So it has to be on the plane. Name a ray that's on it. So J is on it.
JI.
There you go. Now JI are not connected, so you would want to do JH. You would say from here and then through that. That would be a ray. Last but not least, name a segment on plane GKL. Tell me a segment. GKL. GKL is the upright one.
GJ.
Segment G to J, that works. All right. Your practice assignment is posted in Delta Math. I would keep this paper out and use it to help you. You have 19 minutes, which is plenty of time to finish it. Every single person but 2 people in first block finished it in class today. Go to Delta Math.